Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. So my presentation is about Together We're Stronger as we are navigating through pandemic. And right now, I'm sure that all of us can relate either as a mother, as a daughter, as even as simply as friend. So here's my story. So I am Claire Sumadiwirya, the owner of Bellden Cafe. About 6 years ago, I opened this cafe. And then there's some days I believe it's the light of the tunnel, but there's days we feel like, as you know, there's a huge industry-wide labor shortage right now. So bear with us as all the amazing hospitality workers in the front line. Be patient with us as we're going through this, and then I know that in the community full of love and care, we can be able to go through it all. So in Bellden Cafe, we believe in building a purpose-driven business that literally and figuratively feed the community. We are on Main Street in Bellvue downtown. And then if you ever come visit us, you will see this big noticeable tear blue circular logo with the silhouette of a young boy. And that's my son. He is the inspiration that I decided to open this cafe about 6 years ago because kind strangers lent me a hand while I was alone and then trying to take care of him overseas as a single mother. And then as soon as you enter our cafe, you would notice the natural aesthetic of the woods. And then our table is actually made by high-risk youth that's being supported by Seattle Union Gospel. So these tables are beautifully made. We are using all the material that's help youth to understand how to make their own living through carpentry skills. And then when you come to the bar, our menu, includes toast, bowls, waffles, and everything's house made. But what is very special to my heart is our charity drinks. So 25% of all the charity drinks go directly to charity. We serve a big amount of marginalized group in downtown Seattle and downtown Bellevue and all over Washington. And then during pandemic, they are the most vulnerable group that we want to support. That's part of our mission in Bellden Cafe. We are the central hub for community engagement and fulfillment during the lonely and isolated years of the COVID pandemic. So my unique business approach of offering community support during the time of great economic risk has earned us the nicest place in Washington awarded by Reader's Digest. And then also we were featured on the Seattle Refined as well as Good Morning America. And then this success definitely shows that if you follow a mission-driven business, the return, also the personal rewarding, professional rewarding is definitely equally important. It gives you a sense of purpose and also sense of push that on the hardest day that we know that we can go through. But however, the success hasn't come without an equal amount of challenges. As a Chinese immigrant, English, it wasn't my first language. And then as a female entrepreneur, also, I'm a single mother of 3 kids. They are the love of my life, but also they do come with a lot of responsibilities. And then all my team at the cafe, they are my kids too. So I'm going to go over a couple of things that, I did have to go through as a minority woman business owner and also a mother to achieve my dreams. But also at the end, there's so much more rewarding come with it too. So I decided I would not allow any challenges to motivate to deter my success. So I want to successfully create a vision that's fully engaged with the community. Our goal is we want to make sure that every member come through that door, they feel they're part of community, because that sense of belonging, trust, and a safe environment that really creates a stronger and safe community. As you know, during COVID, we know that we are not going to be able to go through this alone, and we need everybody's effort and also caring to make sure that we are here, and then also able to have the right mind space and also the safe surroundings to support one another. Four of the biggest fundamental pillars I learned from my own experience to build this purpose-driven entrepreneur business is commitment, collaboration, communication, and compassion. These are the 4 C's I follow strictly during my business and also during the planning process, and as well as helping my staff to understand the purpose-driven business behind our cafe. So right now, currently, not only I was able to be taking care of this wonderful business, also I'm on the board of 5, 6 different charity boards that includes homeless shelter for men, and then a hospital, a downtown business association, and also the visitor experience for Bellevue. These are just a few things that I was, I have the privilege to be part of, that we can voice a small business owner business, and also as an immigrant, as a mother, and also as things that where we can represent for individual who doesn't have a strong voice. And then I have the privilege to do that, and I'm able to communicate from my business. So through commitment, that's something that's really huge for me while I'm building the business. One of the things I do is my commitment to the community, that is community support driven, is born from the unconditional service of a hospital staff that I received when I was in Shanghai. So let's rewind back about oh no, my son's 9 years old already. So about 9 years ago, I was in Shanghai for a business trip, and then we ended up staying for 2 years. But when we were there, because my son was a premature baby, he has very underdeveloped lungs, so he needed the pollution in Asia is really bad. So we end up have to let stay in the hospital because he couldn't breathe, and also his asthma was flaring up really badly. I was there day and night for a good solid 2 weeks. His dad was not present at the time, so he was traveling. So I have to take care of him all by myself. So this is a place where, even though I speak the language, but I was not foreigner, I was American to them. Um, there was no cafe near on site. In America, we can see that Starbucks and any coffee shop is anywhere hospital we go. But unfortunately, a lot of in different cultures that we don't really see that. So I was there, and one night the only thing I wanted just a cup of coffee and a cup of homemade chicken noodle soup. And I was incredibly lonely. I was hoping that somebody can just support me in a way. One day, actually, our janitor who cleans our room day and night, he came and then surprised me with a cup of coffee. And then that he walked for about 40 miles just for that cup of coffee. It was probably the most, I mean, we're from Seattle, and I love coffee growing up. So that I would not say that was the best tasting coffee in the world, but I do have to say that was the best ever heartwarming coffee I had in my life. And then because at the moment I knew that I may never meet him in person, but he left the surprise for me with a cup of coffee. And also he left his wife looked it up online how to make American style chicken noodle soup, which is so amazing. At that moment, there's nothing could describe how welcome I felt for the community. And that's how he gave it to me, that feeling that I know that even though I cannot thank them in any way or shape or form, but also the way that he can provide that sense of love and also part of the community really, really make me feel like I'm at home. So at that moment, I've decided I really want to open a business just like that, because in America, we are living this big, beautiful melting pot. And then there is so many incredible people coming to visit us or staying. And I'm one of them. I'm immigrant to US when I was 12. And we need to have sense of community building based on our differences, because only if you invite differences, invite feedback from different cultural, different background, different race, and different ethnicity, that's going to give us so much more growth and innovation. And that's how we're going to build a stronger community together. And that really matters right now, because in the business world, we are not machines, we are human. And then to understand where we're coming from as human, as our culture, as our gender preference, as our whether we're married, singles, relationship status, education, there's so many differences that help us to push through the boundaries and also help bridge the boundaries between us so we can build something more beautiful and also something more meaningful, help us to understand the differences. So this commitment I made, because this wonderful janitor gave it to me, made me realize I really want to open a business that's focused just purely on that, because we are human and no human are minimum. We need to focus on each other and building a community that's care about each other. And then on the hard days, we can rely on each other. On the good days, we can celebrate. So as an American woman, I was born in China, where I was met many skepticism when pitching my idea to all male hospital leadership team, because at the time in Shanghai, I really want to open a cafe that can give back, and also can help all the that's struggling at the same time, they feel lonely. So when I was when I was supported well, I built actually two over there while I was with my family to nourish the family who are in need. So when I went, and then 6 years ago, when we decided we're gonna come home, I actually had two more children. I have three kids total, and I knew that this is the chance for me to open a cafe at home and feeding and also supporting the community, just like this janitor made me feel, because everybody deserve a warm welcome to the community and also to the neighbors and also to the city they're at. So as first time hospitality business, my background is actually marketing PR. I did a lot of consulting projects, and then I had a really hard time to secure either a loan, a space, and then also a space. And then and often I had loans that's taken down, but thanks to SBA, I had a chance to get a loan secured. But unfortunately, I worked way harder than I expected with landlords, even with realtors. It was really hard to be taken serious because, first of all, I was a first time hospitality business owner. And second of all, because I'm a minority woman. And then they did not believe in my vision. And then when they see a purpose driven business that's not really focused on profit, of course, the number doesn't, they don't believe in that number. So luckily I did find one that believed in us and believed in my vision. And then we end up pushing through this. And then when I was looking for the suppliers, unfortunately, I was not looking often taking seriously because coffee industry, it is a male-centric industry. And then most of the roasters and also the coffee shop owners men. And then so there's that times where I went to tasting that I made a secured appointment. They give me a simply a tour. And then like I said, I don't need a tour. I know what I'm doing. And then just because my gender, maybe because the way I look, and then I wasn't taken seriously. And then went through, so this skepticism and gender discrimination definitely marked the business relationship between me and those I needed to interact with to succeed. So at the end, when the ones that I decided to have a working relationship, I was incredibly grateful. And all these relationships I currently still work with. For example, I work with Koba Roaster from Portland. They're the roaster I work from day one. The reason being I work with them after working with 20 different roasters because they believed in me and they believe in my vision. When we're building a business, having somebody in our back support, knowing that doesn't matter what the profit ending projection is, but they believe in a vision. That's what it matters, because that kind of positivity is going to help us to carry through during the hardest day. And that moment when I realized that my dream is bigger than any of these biases was placed on me, I knew that many part of the society wanted to put me in a box, limit the lens of my identity through biases and stereotypes, or even restrict my success, desires, and roles through gender, racial, cultural, and social norms. Observing, seeing these happening float in front of me was actually really humbling, but also really open mind to see I only want to work with people who motivate me more. I knew I need to commit myself to myself more and also my dreams and also the people who believe in me. So I was lucky that I did find the right people willing to invest in me and my dream to build a cafe. And this cafe, through pandemic, we're still standing. I remember on the first day of pandemic when it happened. That's actually in Kirkland. That's just only a few miles from our cafe. I thought I was gonna lose everything, and then my only thing was I didn't know how it was gonna happen, how it's gonna unfold in front of me. So that's just only a few miles, and then I knew that. But I knew that through compassion, that's the only way I can help me to contribute to how me, my team, and my customer were able to manage this challenging time together. Like that janitor in Shanghai, he helped me to navigate that time, and then through pandemic, which is my second pillar, which is compassion. That's what make us together. So in this time of uncertainty, I want to keep our cafe open, not just for me. I want to open for my team and the community, and also the people who are going through a hard time, the marginalized groups that's being helped. I was able to keep cafe open while following the pandemic protocols by transitioning my business model to something very different. First, we did take our own business that offered dining car curbside pickups. And also I wanted to add things to support my community better, so I invited farmers come to our cafe, and then having our open our space for them so they can make more retail products, retail sales while everything else was shut down. On top of the charity drinks, we also add a menu like extra tip for essential workers, donate to your local nonprofit, which invite my customers to contribute to the greater neighborhood. And then so gratefully for the generosity of clientele, my baristas, actually my team member really experienced a really great steep raise in tip sharing. And then about over $5,000 was donated. I was able to donate from local charities, and these are the things that's coming from the community, not just from us. I think that because my team's courageousness and also their compassion, believe in my vision, really definitely helped me to push me through, keep our business model without failing, and then was not ever able to was never ever forced to close. At this time, compassion has really shown, not just because what we show our customer, our community, but it's definitely something other has shown us. At that moment, we were not just our customers, a barista at these times. We were their only social outlets. So their only time to break through the virtual working environment or from their home responsibilities. We really relieved their loneliness from a warm welcome from the other side of the cashier stand. We nourished them with beverages and healthy food, and we gave them opportunities to be part of something bigger than themselves that allowed them to contribute what they could in time of such a communal need. We did all this because while keeping our team. I was really proud during COVID. I actually didn't lose any of team because the support of a community. We really pushed through, making sure that our team is happy. So we constantly did a lot of compassion checking with our team, with each other, making sure we are okay, and making sure our customers are okay. Because at this time, we know that being vulnerable is really the way to help us to stay supported, and also making sure that we know that something is there bigger than what we do. So doing this, so as you see, a lot of collaborations involved in my business, either is collaborating with fellow vendors, collaborating with farmers market, our local charity partners. So the whole span of 6 years we've been in the business, we actually collaborate with over 20 local charity partners, and then we sold almost I believe it's about 15,000 cups of charity drinks that we were able to support causes like family that's going through homelessness, low-income families that needs educational school support, and also natural environmental support like maintaining the trails. There's other ones that the foster care system use that's at risk. And then one of the things I really passionate, close to my heart, was the business ending human trafficking. So we provide support, also training for business and knows how to support survivors of human trafficking. So that's one of my favorite collaborations. So during the COVID, we will have the chance to train survivors of human trafficking. And then that was a great learning curve for me, because the gift these brave individual survivor gave to me, my team, is way more incredible and significant than what we were able to support them. So this is a great collaboration where we was learning how to break something you may know. It's called a social freeze. Seattle has this reputation of being more introverted city, making it super difficult for those who live here, who build new relationships, foster new friendships, and foster community. During COVID, we will have the privilege working survivors with human trafficking. So these are incredible human beings going through extreme trauma, and then for us to know how to break that freeze and understand how to build that personal relationship with them, and then also using that to strengthen our relationship within our team, that I have to say that definitely make our team stronger, and also give us the insight how to support people from different areas to understand how to read, and also how to read trauma, and also navigate trauma, and also understand the trauma maybe we carry ourselves that we don't really reflect on, but seeing from other people, sometimes it triggers how we feel, and then we know that how can we use collaboration, how to collectively to heal ourselves together. So while we building this new network for ourselves, I also encourage my team to go out to volunteer in the community. So I pay all my team up to 32 hours per year. That's 8 hours per quarter to go volunteer any charity they prefer. Something we do is actually really funny. I actually told my team if they just want to help their neighbor to clean their lawn, they can totally do that. And I love that they're doing that. Or if they're just really busy working every day, that they never have the chance to hang out with their grandma, with their mom, you know, I told them, please have the time to do it. Just let me know, and then you take a picture with you and grandma and show me that you hang out with a family member. That will be the proof. And then I really want to our team to become the pillar of our community. I want them to be at this happy place. So I created my cafe and my business to become my happy place. And then I definitely was so happy that it has become the happy place for my team and also my community. So one of the things, I knew the people I encountered daily would not, I'll be able, not, sometimes might not be able to frequent our cafe due to economic and then transportation limitations. So I kind of expanded my community space, serving all those communities deserve of care. So because that, I was able to reach out more community charity partners and ask them, what can we do? Because when you want to build a community, we can't be what we at. When you are advocating, sure, we are advocating, we are talking about what we want, but we need to go out and learn how can we be a better community supporter and community builder. And then, because listen and learn is the most important thing, to know what can we do better as a leader, as just a community member, to knowing what it is. And that come with collaboration. One of the reasons I named Bellden, because I want to become serve as a den in Bellvue. So my den, my house, is very a special place for me, because that's the only place as a mom and a business owner and then board members of different churches. That's the only place I can have it for myself. So it's really sacred for me. And then I want to make sure that also, sometimes when my kids get in trouble, I call them in my den and we talk about, have one-on-ones. So I want that place to create a space, a safe space for everybody who come in, and then either for themselves to relax and work and study, or just having a cup of coffee with themselves. Or there's days they feel they have way more space in their heart and soul mind, they want to have engagement with their community, then I want our cafe to be the space for them as well. So this has become the ultimate plan to create a purpose-driven business that gave me joy. I am really proud to say that I donate a majority proceeds of my charity to specific charities that I feel passionate about. Either from the ones I highlighted about, from those who experience homelessness at Vision House, or the Congregation Homeless Men. We're building a brand new shelter for them. It's one of the biggest one in King County, next to I-90, for those who live in Seattle. We also provide wraparound service for job securement, job training readiness, and then we also I also serve on the Overlake Hospital, that we will provide the support for frontline workers and also provide free healthcare for the people who cannot afford healthcare. Because this is all the crucial things. That's the necessity as a human we need. And then for any kids, we need those to strive together. And then from an adult perspective, if we cannot take care of ourselves, how can we take care of the people around us, our families, our teams, our support system, everyone that's around us? Like I said, sometimes we have to take care of ourselves, and then we take care of each other, then we can go bigger on that. So one of the other things that's really crucial for me was the last one I was on the touch is the communication. So that's my last four of the 4C pillar. I really rely on my business and also the things I really cherish in our community. So during pandemic, I, as an Asian American, I was never scared of worry about anti-Asian hate speech come to me, because I thought I live in such a strong community that I was never feel unsafe. I constantly feel safe, and then nothing in the peak of the pandemic, actually nothing happened. So one day I actually put on my guard, and then I got this really random email. It was very derogatory and very racist, super sexist as well, email send it to me, to our company email. And then when I got it, it really caught me off guard. I I because it hit me when I was not expected. But and also I realized that nobody's safe. Nobody's safe in this environment to people who's in the dark. So and then the only way for us to protect each other is being supportive of each other. I remember when it first happened, I feel so unsafe and so upset. And then within I would say 5 or 6 minutes, I have friends who come into the cafe right away to come see me to make sure I was okay. I had a customer who was going to blast it out to everybody who knew, find out who this person is. And then immediately the local police actually came out to like record everything. And my team was asking me to take the time off. This is a time that I feel like without even reaching out, they knew they can support me as a community. And then with because of that, I was healed way faster than I thought. And also it turned into something very positive. I need to turn into all these challenging experience into something bigger and then do something better for other people. Because what I experience is only one in a million cases that's going through. And then luckily I have a voice to tell people a story. I have a voice. I can call the police. I have a voice to tell the news outlet what's going on. But what if it's somebody that doesn't have a voice? If somebody have either disability who doesn't speak English or things that they don't know what's the resources out there, how can they get help? I believe that this is the way we can communicate. And then I know that these challenges I went through in my life. I'm pretty sure there's other challenges I'm gonna have in the future. It's not gonna be unique to me. Either it's from sexist to racism, or right now it's xenophobia. And then and the, along the way, I also experienced I had divorced during the pandemic, and then um, there's infertility with the baby. So there's a lot of stories in my life. I I can talk about days, but I want to make sure that we know that it doesn't matter end of the day where we at. We are always in this together. So together we are always stronger. And then my story, I want to share my story, not only to inspire. I want to just encourage each other that by having the commitment to betterment of our community together, creating purpose-driven business, have social enterprise that's really focused on each other, not only on the profit. At the end, that is something that's going to bring us joy. It's really rare for people to find a line of work they feel that it's bringing them joy. But I have to say, for everything I do in my business and every project I do with nonprofit, always bring me joy. I tell my team and my kids all the time that if there's something doesn't bring you joy, then that is something we shouldn't be focused on. If somebody doesn't bring you joy in a relationship, then we need to talk to them, figure out if what's the best way to communicate with them. Sometimes setting that boundary and also letting go the thing doesn't bring you joy, it is hard, but also it's part of the communication to yourself. Just as the words have potential to cause harm, but they also have great power to heal as well. From family to team members, from customers to business and nonprofit partners, authentically and communicating your needs, desires, challenges, and the skill set can really create a safe environment where everybody desires to succeed together. This is a culture that we can focus and benefits everyone through the strength of communication that will always able to better absorb and also overcome the challenges of building purpose-driven social enterprises. Because end of the world, there's nothing easy to fix anything. When there's trauma created, it takes time to heal, but also time it's okay to ask for forgiveness, also repair. That's really important. But the first step, we have to able to communicate with each other. So from my past experience, either from my marriage, I wouldn't say it's failed marriage. It was just a love story that didn't really end well. We are great friends now, but I would say that just opened a new chapter of our life, right? Like any business and also life and work relationship, there aren't any easy solutions or quick fixes for a clear path to overcoming challenges. But however, I really believe with my whole heart that we can always still succeed if we come together and if we share our gifts, our resources, and our passion with each other. We will always win. Through commitment, collaboration, compassion, communication, I'm very confident that we can always build businesses that nourish our communities. Well, thank you so much for having me here. and join me as she is me conference. I tremendously enjoy this and such a big, wonderful honor to have you, Lisa.